78% of suicides in America are men, yet we're half as likely to seek help for mental health issues compared to women. The silent epidemic nobody's talking about is killing us. By 40, most men have established patterns that will define their mental health for decades to come. The 5 habits I'm sharing today are what psychologists and neuroscientists like Andrew Huberman consider foundational, yet most of us weren't taught a single one growing up. The silent crisis: why men's mental health is ignored. Let's talk about something nobody's addressing: the hidden mental health crisis affecting men everywhere. For generations, we've inherited an unspoken rule: men don't show emotion. This code, passed down from father to son, has created a society where expressing feelings is seen as weakness rather than strength. Traditional masculine ideals have built an invisible prison around men's emotional lives. From childhood, boys hear phrases like "man up" or "boys don't cry," teaching them that emotional suppression equals masculinity. This conditioning runs deep, creating men who struggle to identify their own feelings, let alone express them. The pressure to appear strong and stoic creates a dangerous internal conflict. Emotions don't disappear when ignored, they transform. What's particularly alarming is how mental distress manifests physically in men. That persistent headache, the chronic back pain, the digestive issues that won't resolve. Many men experience these symptoms without recognizing their connection to mental health. Your body often speaks the emotional language your mind has been programmed to silence. These physical manifestations aren't just inconveniences, they're warning signals your body sends when emotional processing is blocked. The biological toll extends far beyond discomfort. Chronic stress from emotional suppression triggers a cascade of hormonal disruptions, starting with cortisol overproduction that interferes with testosterone levels. This imbalance affects everything from energy and libido to muscle mass. Your cardiovascular system bears the brunt, too. Increased blood pressure, inflammation, and heart rate variability all suffer under sustained stress. Perhaps most concerning is the impact on brain function, where neural pathways actually change under chronic stress, affecting memory, decision-making, and cognitive flexibility. Ironically, workplaces where men spend most of their waking hours often reinforce these harmful patterns. Professional environments create a paradox where vulnerability becomes a liability. The same spaces that might benefit most from emotionally intelligent men actively discourage the practices that would foster such growth. Competitive cultures reward those who appear unaffected by pressure, while silently punishing those who acknowledge their struggles. This leaves men caught between workplace success and personal well-being. The stigma surrounding men's mental health carries unique characteristics compared to women's experiences. While both genders face challenges, men encounter specific barriers: fewer socially acceptable outlets for emotional expression, less established support networks, and cultural messaging that equates help-seeking with failure. This stigma leads many men to self-medicate with alcohol, overwork, or risk-taking behaviors rather than address underlying issues directly. The fear of judgment often exceeds the fear of suffering, creating a dangerous cycle of isolation. So, why weren't men taught these essential mental health skills growing up? Historical and cultural factors created this educational gap. Traditional male roles emphasized provision and protection over emotional literacy. Educational systems focused on preparing boys for workforce productivity rather than emotional intelligence. Media representations consistently portrayed stoic male heroes who solved problems through action rather than emotional processing. This perfect storm created generations of men without the tools to navigate their inner landscapes. Age 40 represents a crucial turning point in men's mental health trajectory. By this milestone, patterns established earlier in life become deeply ingrained. Career pressures often peak while family responsibilities expand, physical changes begin subtly affecting energy and resilience. The accumulated stress of decades operating without emotional tools starts manifesting more clearly. Yet this pivotal age also offers opportunity. With greater self-awareness and life experience, men can recognize the cost of their emotional suppression and implement meaningful changes. The encouraging news comes from neuroscience. Neuroplasticity, the brain's remarkable ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections, continues throughout life. This means that even in middle age, men can learn new patterns of emotional processing. Breaking decades-old habits isn't easy, but the brain remains adaptable, capable of establishing healthier pathways when given consistent practice. This scientific reality offers hope that no man is permanently bound by his emotional conditioning. The 5 game-changing habits that build mental resilience neuroplasticity gives us the capacity to change. But which specific practices actually rewire a man's mental landscape? The 5 habits I'm about to share separate mentally resilient men from those who struggle, and they don't require therapy, medication, or major life overhauls. These are straightforward daily practices that activate precise neurochemical responses, transforming how you handle stress, process emotions, and maintain energy. The first habit might seem deceptively simple: purposeful journaling. This 5-minute morning ritual sets a positive tone for your entire day. Yet most men try it once and abandon it. Why? They approach it without structure. The key to making journaling stick is following a framework of reflective questions. How am I doing? Am I experiencing difficult emotions or thoughts? Am I doing some unhelpful behaviors? Is there something I need that I can offer myself? This isn't writing Dear Diary entries about your feelings. It's treating yourself like you would a good friend, checking in, gathering information, and identifying potential issues before they become problems. The structure makes the habit sustainable, giving you a consistent way to assess your mental state and connect with yourself. Those few minutes create awareness that ripples throughout your day, allowing you to address challenges proactively rather than reactively. The second habit involves movement, but not necessarily the punishing gym sessions many men associate with exercise. The daily movement practice that clears mental fog can be as simple as a brisk walk, bike ride, or swim. The science is clear. Physical activity releases endorphins that act as natural painkillers and mood elevators, reducing stress and improving your overall outlook. According to national guidelines, aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise or 70 minutes of intense exercise weekly, plus strength training twice weekly. One CDC expert calls walking the closest thing we have to a wonder drug, and for good reason. Specific types of movement trigger neurochemical shifts that directly benefit your mental clarity, strengthen your brain, improve cardiovascular health, and reduce stress levels. The key is finding activities you genuinely enjoy so you'll maintain them consistently. The third habit takes just 2 minutes, but can prevent mental breakdowns. The daily check-in technique promotes self-awareness by creating a brief pause to assess your emotional state. Unlike the more thorough morning journaling, this quick practice can happen anywhere, during your commute, before an important meeting, or whenever you feel tension rising. Take those 2 minutes to connect with yourself, gathering valuable information about your current state. Are you feeling anxious, frustrated, exhausted? This momentary pause prevents the slow build of emotions that often leads to emotional outbursts or shutdown. By identifying potential issues early, you gain the power to address them before they escalate. The fourth habit might seem counterintuitive for men raised to say yes to everything: setting clear boundaries. This practice involves creating what some experts call a no list. activities, and behaviors you consciously decide to avoid because they negatively impact your well-being. Examples might include not checking email in the evening, not answering calls during meals, or declining certain social obligations. Far from being selfish, boundaries protect your energy and create space for what truly matters. This practice allows you to express and fulfill your actual needs and desires, leading to greater balance and well-being. The strongest men aren't those who take on everything. They're the ones who clearly define what deserves their time and attention. The fifth habit treats recovery as seriously as productivity, scheduled rest. This means dedicating specific time each day or week to stop and recharge. Rest isn't laziness, it's a form of productivity that enhances your creativity, empathy, and positive outlook. Just like sleep, rest is an essential human need, and without it, your capacity diminishes across all areas of life. So here's what I want you to take away. Start with just one habit today. Pick whichever one spoke to you, the one that made you think, I could actually do that. Small, consistent actions compound over time in ways you can't imagine. The ripple effect of these practices extends beyond mental clarity into relationships, career decisions, and physical health. They're interconnected systems that reinforce each other. Remember, true strength isn't about weathering storms without damage. As the saying goes, mental strength is not about how much you can handle before you break. It's about how much you can handle after you've broken. Join us next week. Subscribe, share with someone who needs this. Let's redefine strength together.